Hi, you're back.
I am back, but I want to know, Namaste everyone, who was the host and who ended up this meeting?
It was Ray. Ray was the host.
Ray, who is Ray?
She's somebody else in the group. So I think when she left, it ended it for everybody.
Okay, so was she teaching you something?
No,
which subject?
she wasn't teaching us. It's just the connection with the teacher was not good. Sorry, I don't know if you can.
Yes,
Oh,
okay.
she became the host. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we have today Blaze. I hope you had a nice weekend from Brittany and Blaze. So on the Saturday, we have studied some things. I hope you have that recording and you will watch it later and you will able to know. So Himalayan Yoga School will give you the recording. Even I don't have that recording, my recording. Okay. So what we studied on Saturday, we have seen the structure of a long bone, and we also have seen the cells, that means of the bones. So we have three different cells in the bones: osteoblast, osteocyte, and osteoclast. And these three cells help in the proper maintenance of the bone, to maintain the bone here, in short. So these three cells we studied, the and apart from that, we have just seen the structure of a long bone and what is there in the long bone. Today, we will just see in short the structure of a short bone as well. So in the structure of a short bone, here, like a long bone, like the short bones have these two compact tissues, or these two cells, or these two tissues, like the compact bone at the side. So the short bone is like a sandwich. When we see the structure of a short bone, it looks like a sandwich. So we have the compact bone at the two ends of the short bone. Compact bone means the hard bone. And in the middle, we will have the spongy bone or the soft bone. This is what? Like a sandwich. From the two sides, we will have the thick bones that are called compact bones. And at the center, we will have the spongy bone. And as we have studied, like in the long bones, the layer which covers the compact bone is known as periosteum layer. Similarly, here as well, if you see the compact bones, tissues, that means at the top and at the bottom, there will be a layer, a small layer, which will cover these bones from outside. Peri means out and endo means in. So periosteum layer will be there from outside of the compact bone. This you label as periosteum. What happens in the compact bone surface? There are the cells. Which cells? Osteoblast. So osteoblasts are the cells which are bone forming cells present in the surface on the compact bone. I told you on the Saturday, when we have a fracture or something, when our bone gets a crack, that time to form new bone cells or to rebuild that bone, there are some cells, and those cells are known as osteoblasts, where they are present on the surface of the compact bone where we have fracture, or when we have bone crack or bone injury on that surface. That are the hard part of the bone, like this. So this is the short bone, and this is the long bone that we already studied. But when we cut this long bone, then we will have a cross section of this long bone, like a trunk of a tree, like a trunk of a tree. When you will cut a trunk of a tree, that time you will find a circle. You will find a circle. So that we will see the microstructure of this bone. The microstructure of this bone. It will be a bit hard to understand today for Blaze and Brittany and Amber, but you will cover it easily, like when you will watch the video again. So when we cut that cross section, I told you what is there inside the long bone. When we will cut, the long bone contains inside the central canal, and a central canal is what? That will provide the nourishment to the bone. So for example, if this is a pen, if we consider this marker as a long bone, inside this long bone, there will be a refill. So inside this marker, there will be a refill, which will provide or which will make this marker working. So similarly, in our bones as well, there is a central canal, which is like a refill. And that refill, that central canal which has the blood vessels or the lymphatic vessels or the nerve, that is what will provide the nourishment. The osteocyte cells provide the nourishment to this whole bone. The Haversian canal, like this here. Now we will see, if we cut this bone, then the bone will be like a cross section, the circular bone, when we will cut, and that is what, how it looks like, the cross section of the compact bone. So this is what this compact bone is made up of many osteoids, osteons. This compact bone made up of many osteons. What are osteons? Or the Haversian system. All the osteocytes present, and inside this compact bone, there will be a central canal. So this one is what? The central canal inside, which will go more deep into the bone. This central canal will go more deep into the bone. This is just the cross section. Then the central canal consists of blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, as well as some nerve. If we see our bone, this compact bone, this is what? A compact bone, strong, hard surface bone. If we will cut this cross section of this bone, so what are there? These are many osteons, like this, many circles with the fixed osteons. When we will remove out one section of the compact bone, at that time, what will be there present? There will be lots of lacuna. So this is what? The section of the red one, which we have removed out. And what will be present there? A number of series. There will be present a number of parallel series. Those parallel series are called lamella. Those parallel series are called lamella. So this is one section, another section. These all separate sections are called lamella. What are these lamella? Nothing but the parallel series. And those lamella will contain lacuna. That lacuna will contain our osteocytes. I will repeat. So this lamella, the series, will contain these red circles. These red circles are known as lacuna, which contains osteocytes. Osteocytes are the cells which are formed by osteoblasts. Like we studied already, osteoblast, osteocytes, and osteoclasts. So osteoblasts are bone reforming cells. Osteocytes are matured bone cells. So these are matured bone cells which give the proper nourishment, and they know how to maintain the health of the bone. So here in this lacuna in our bone, there are osteocytes present. Osteoblasts are present on the surface of the bone, compact bone, where is our fracture or injury of the bone, to form new bones. And osteocytes inside the central canal, here deep inside. The black one which connects this lacuna, so the thread-like structure which connects this lacuna are known as canaliculus. What are the thread-like structure? They will connect our lacuna to each other. So these red circles are connected with a thread that is known as canaliculus. These threads in a parallel series are known as lamella. Lamella has this parallel series where they have lacuna, the red dots, which contains osteocytes, and this lacuna connects each other with the help of canaliculus, this thread. Those canaliculus contains interstitial fluid. That canaliculus will contain interstitial fluid. That means it will provide the nourishment for osteocytes. That means, I repeat, this canaliculus contains some fluid. Interstitial fluid means cellular fluid. That cellular fluid which contains biomolecules, and that will provide nourishment to our osteocytes, these cells. And these osteocytes will become matured enough to take proper care of our bone. So this canaliculus will transport all the nutrients to these osteocytes required for the bone, for the health of the bone. This is what? The compact bone, this microstructure of our compact bone, the harder one. Now, inside, more deeper, we will have a spongy bone as well, as we have seen. The spongy bone located at the top in the long bone diagram before. So how is this compact bone different from a spongy bone? That will be seen. Now I will erase this and we'll write down the spongy bone. I will write here on the below. I think you can see it. So here below only about the spongy bone. Similarly, like a compact bone, this spongy bone will have a honeycomb structure. This spongy bone will have a honeycomb structure. What is this honeycomb structure? So these circles are not like concentric rings. So in the compact bones, there were concentric rings around only. But in the spongy bone down here, this is a spongy bone, you will find out honeycomb structure. This honeycomb structure is what? The microstructure of a spongy bone tissue, soft bone. That's soft bone. So these sets of parallel series, are known as trabeculae. Trabeculae in the spongy bone. The sets of parallel series in the compact bone are lamella. Here the sets of parallel series trabeculae, and to these sets of trabeculae which connect each other with the help of caniculae or canaliculae. So what are these canaliculae? This black thread in between are known as canaliculae. Here you will see in the compact bone the thread which connects our lacuna to each other, canaliculae. Similarly, this thread which connects our parallel sets of series, they are canaliculae in the soft or the spongy bone. And here in the soft or the spongy bone, these canaliculae will also contain osteocytes. Similarly, the red one. So where are these osteocytes? Will be in between each canaliculae that will be connected to each other like this. This is the soft bone tissue. This is the compact bone tissue. Just the difference is they have the trabeculae, honeycomb-like structure, a soft structure where compact bone has the concentric rings without the trabeculae, and they are the hard, tough at the surface of the bones. This is what just the difference. And today we are just seeing the microstructure. So when the bones are, when they are studied under the microscope, that is what the microstructure of the compact bone tissue and the spongy bone tissue. On the Saturday, we have studied the structure of the long bone, where we have just mentioned where is this osteoblast present or where is the osteocyte present or what is there in our bone marrow, yellow bone marrow. Now, I hope you have drawn these two structures, and I will erase it just for everyone. One more time, I have to check.
Can I just double check on the spongy bone, the one that you just drew last, is that the lacuna?
This one, the red one
Yes.
on the spongy bone, yes.
Okay.
The lacuna or directly osteocytes, you can label them
Okay.
osteocytes.
Thank you.
Yes, these osteocytes will nourish the bone, will take care of that spongy bone. Yes. Now, we have studied the names, the location, the structure, the microstructure as well of this bone, of all the bones actually, from the 206 number of bones. Now we have to see, we have seen the types of cells used for the proper development of the bone. Those are osteoblasts, osteocytes, and the osteoclast. Osteoclast are the cells where when they are needed, when we don't require or they are cutting the bones which we are not requiring, those bone cells. For example, if we grow the unwanted bones, that time these osteoclast cells are being doing the function to degrade the bone. So like this, the cells of the bones with the tissues of the bone. What are those tissues of the bone? Compact bone tissue with the spongy bone tissue with their microstructure along with the long bone and the short bone. Apart from this, now we will be seeing some types of the connective tissues. So what are the connective tissues? What are the tissues?
Ligaments and tendons,
Yeah, ligaments and
connecting
tendons.
tissues.
Yes. Now, ligament, first one. So connective tissues, ligaments, tendons. What are these ligaments in our connective tissue?
Ligaments are, oh man, I think I'm like bone to muscle, muscle to muscle. I can't remember. Sorry, I disappoint you.
Okay. But I hope you remember that we studied last time as well.
Yeah, I just can't remember. I think it's
Yeah.
the ligament is muscle to muscle.
So it
No?
is, no, it is bone to the bone. So the connection of the bone, nice triangle. It is the connection
Oh, okay.
of bone to another bone.
Okay, thanks.
So when we connect one bone, everyone, to the other bone, that is what with the help of ligaments. Ligaments we will find out in a plenty around our bone joint. So to connect one bone to the other bone is a ligament. Then apart from these ligaments, we have tendons. Now you tell me what is the tendons?
That one's bone to muscle.
Yes, that is what? Bone to muscle. Ligaments what? Bone to bone connection. And apart from tendons, we have fascia. And what are these fascia? Yes.
I think it covers the muscle. It's the sheath that covers the muscle, the white
Yes.
sheath, I think.
Yes, it is a white transparent sheet that connects one
Muscle
muscle
to
to
muscle?
another muscle. Yes. So when we cover or connect one muscle to the another muscle, that is what? Our fascia. So when we connect our bones to the bones directly, that is with the help of ligaments. When our bones are connected with the muscles, that is our tendons. And when our bones are connected, sorry, when our muscles are connected to another muscle, that are known as fascia. So these three are the important connective tissue. Apart from this connective tissue, we have also a cartilage. This is also the type of connective tissue. And we have different types of cartilage as well. What is a cartilage? We have these three connective tissue, yes. So cartilage, also one more connective tissue. But what exactly is this cartilage? Or we will say cartilage and its type. What is this cartilage and the types of cartilage? Cartilage is that thing which is flexible in the property, but not like the bone. Cartilage is a connective tissue, but not like the ligaments, tendons, that is flexible, and they are also harder and elastic in nature. So we have this cartilage as well found in many of the bone joints. So what are the types of cartilage? There are three important types of the cartilage. That means hyaline cartilage, we have fibrous cartilage, and we have elastic cartilage. So for example, here I will write down in short, hyaline cartilage. The first one. So hyaline cartilage is one of the weaker form of cartilage made up of collagen fiber. Hyaline cartilage you will find almost in all parts of the joint, but mostly this hyaline cartilage are being found in our rib, in our nose, as well in our trachea. So this hyaline cartilage mostly nose, I have said. Like this cartilage, this is not a bone, vomer, cartilage connected to the central bone, vomer, that makes our nose like this, moving, flexible, and in the ribs as well. So in between each rib or where the ribs are connected to the center chest bone, to the sternum, to this, the ribs are connected to the cartilage, not directly to the bone. So how are they connected to the sternum? With the help of cartilage. We have seen the 7 true ribs, the next 3 floating ribs, the next 2 false floating ribs, the next 3 false ribs. So that are connected with the help of hyaline cartilage to the sternum, the 24 ribs. Similarly, they are also available in our nose and in our trachea. Where is the trachea? Trachea is our, yes?
Our throat.
Yes, in our throat or our windpipe. So windpipe is trachea. There's all the number of rings. So in our windpipe, there is lots of rings. 16 to 20 rings, 5-inch long is our windpipe that connects our throat to our lungs. That is also made up of the hyaline cartilage. Apart from the hyaline cartilage, we have fibrocartilage. The word says fibro, not weak. Fibrous means the fixed collagen fibers, stronger ones, the toughest. The fibrous means unmoving, unmovable. They are cartilage which are mostly present in between the vertebrae, which are mostly present in between our vertebrae and in between our ligaments. So where they are present, where our bones connects to the bones in our ligaments, as well as in between our vertebral column, where our vertebrae are connected in between each vertebra. How many vertebra? 26 vertebrae in total we have studied. In between each vertebra, there is a cartilage disc, cartilage pad that will make our vertebra a bit flexible. That is what the fibrous joint, the vertebrae are connected with the fibrocartilage. Again, the third one, cartilage, is elastic cartilage. What is this elastic cartilage? This cartilage you will find in your external ears. So when you will see, they are bringing, when we fold the ears, they are flexible. This is all the cartilage. This is not a bone. In internal ears, we have studied the tiniest bones in our body, incus, malleus, and stapes. They are inside the eardrum. But external ears, this is what? Made up of elastic cartilage to get back into its original form or original shape. Whenever you will squeeze your ear, it will again come back. This is what elastic membrane, the cartilage here. And also you will find this in your epiglottis. Do you know what is epiglottis?
At the back of the throat, at the mouth.
I cannot hear you, Ru. Can you repeat?
Is it the? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Oh, right. Is it the part that's at the back of the throat, at the mouth?
Yes,
The back.
at the posterior end, at the back of our mouth. So that epiglottis is what? A switch of tissue, connective tissue, nothing but our elastic cartilage. That flap of tissue which will send our food to the food pipe and it will send the air to the windpipe. So we have these two pipes. windpipe and food pipe. And the function, the epiglottis controls this. So whenever you will eat your food, epiglottis will send it to the food pipe without asking you. So that is what involuntary kind of tissue in your body, which is not controlled with our mind. So that epiglottis tissue also made up of elastic cartilage. Okay. Got it here up till here? Okay. So I erase this.
Yes.
What is this? Where? Okay, I will erase it. What have you done on your weekend, on Saturday?
On Saturday, we went to a beautiful waterfall temple and we did a full ceremony and gave offerings. And then on Sunday, we went to a beautiful beach.
Right. I saw some of the pics, like of Amber as well, like in the field or in something on, and even, yeah, because we do follow on our social media. So I know what have you done and where you have been. Okay. Anyway, you are happy that that's what we do. The next, apart from, come back now here again, apart from this connective tissue, also apart from the ligaments, tendons, fascia, and the cartilage, now we will study what is articulation and what are the bone joints. Write down the word bone joints. Can you really see my whiteboard? Is it visible? Please tell me if not. Or put me on the spotlight. I am not the host of this login and I don't know how to become a host. You can put me on the spotlight if you can see. So the bone joints. What is this bone joints? Nothing but the articulation. Bone joints is what? Articulation. This term articulation means bone joint. To articulate, that means where two bones meet each other. Where two bones meet each other, that point is known as articulation. And this is what bone joints. So we do have three major types of bone joints. We do have three major types of bone joints. In simple terms, first I will write it down. Those are unmovable bone joint, the next semi-movable bone joint. These are the simple terms which will make you remember. And the third one is movable bone joints. Then, what are these unmovable bone joints known as? Unmovable bone joints means our fibrous bone joints. Semi-movable bone joints means our cartilaginous bone joints. Cartilaginous means where our cartilage is present. Fibrous bone joints means strong, firm, which are not moving fibers. These bone joints, fibrous, fixed joints. And movable bone joints means synovial bone joint. Doesn't matter if you remember this or this. I want you to clear the concept. Fibrous, cartilaginous, or synovial, or we can say unmovable, semi-movable, or movable. Okay. So first you tell me what are the fibrous bone joints? or fibrous bone joints, I will tell like where these bones are not moving at all. So these joints, where do you find? Which are those bones which are not moving at all?
In the skull, I want to say.
Yes,
Is that right?
exactly. Yes, yes, correct. 100% correct in this skull. And tell me now at least 3-4 names of the bones you find in our skull or in the facial skeletal. Which are the types of fibrous bone joints? Yes, anyone?
Cranium, the frontal, something.
Yes, frontal. First is frontal, then at the side above the ear, which is that bone? Or what is the cheekbones called? At least tell me what are the cheekbones.
Temporal, occipital, sphenoid.
Not sphenoid, it is sphenoid. Yes. So temporal, occipital, sphenoid are the bones in our skull. The cheekbones like zygomatic, the upper jaw, maxilla as well are fibrous bone joints. They are connected. They can't move. Only moving bone in the whole head. Which is that? Tell me that name. Tell me the
Mandibula.
name. Yes,
Mandibula.
mandible. Correct.
Oh, mandible.
So the rest of those bones which are fixed fuse that protects our important part, brain, those are fibrous bone joints. Okay. The next semi-movable bone joints, cartilaginous, where they will find in between. Yes, our ribs, in between our vertebra and the spine, you will find out the cartilaginous bone joints. And the rest of the joints in our whole body are known as movable bone joints that are nothing but synovial bone joints. Okay. Our vertebral column spine, semi-movable, not completely flexible. They have cartilage disc, cartilage pad. Similarly, in our ribs, the muscles of respiration, the intercostal muscles with the diaphragm when we breathe, that time our ribs move, not completely. So they are cartilaginous bone joints, semi-movable bone joints. Similarly, synovial bone joints, we will see and continue it tomorrow as well. So all the bone joints, those are movable bone joints. Up till here, if it is clear, tell me. And if you have any questions for today, let me know. Yeah, please, or Brittany.
Sorry, it wasn't about questions for today, but just tomorrow, just to be clear, we're going to do all the movable bone joints.
All the movable bone joints, we will start with all the movable bone joints. But after that, we have to proceed further with our next topic. That I don't know. Yeah, because I live in present, not in future. I don't think at all. Just a happy life. Present. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
It's with the cartilage. Can the cartilage ever become stiff?
Cartilage can become stiff. Where the
Yeah. It can, because if like people have like spinal problems, back problems, then say if they want to do an asana and their back is very stiff, is that like to do with the cartilage? And is the cartilage stiff and can it be loosened, or I don't know?
Again, the muscles attached. The muscles are been attached. So to our bones. So muscles, when they become stiff, the bones, the joints become stiff. So to increase the mobility, the flexibility of muscles should be improved so that our mobility of joints can be improved. So this cartilage is also connected like for the spine. And if we have the muscle that is not loosened or tight muscles, for example, if you have lower or if some people have lower back problems as well, these people also have the hamstrings tight. So when hamstrings are tight, these people also have lower back injuries. So the cartilage present in the lower back will also get that tightness will also become stiff. So they are all connected. So they are known connective tissues. Connect with each other. Muscles to the bones, bones to the bones. In between the ligaments, you will find out this cartilage.
So if somebody was doing like a back bend, for example, and they hadn't, say if they were very stiff, they haven't moved for a long time, and if that is not to do with the cartilage, that's more of a muscular issue.
Yes, our muscles have the properties, elasticity, flexibility. So these muscles also need to loosen. These muscles are connected with the help of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, fascia around the body. So all the connective tissues also become stiff when they are not doing any exercise for a long period of time. So not only cartilage has the problem, they are connected.
So we can't just sort of single it out. We can't single it out and say, oh, it's
We
a
can
cartilage
just,
issue.
yes,
Yeah.
we figure it out separately. There is a cartilage problem, but there will be a cartilage connected with another muscle or another bone. Even that muscles need to be checked there, if it is tight or not. So that elastic nature of the muscle, when we do more exercises, more flexibility will be there, more stretching. Muscles are tight, cartilage will also become tight. Connective
And then
tissue.
when the muscles loosen, then the cartilage will loosen.
Yeah, become flexible. Yeah, muscle flexibility.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ru and Amber and everyone here. That was
Thanks.
Jennifer.
See you tomorrow.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will end up the meeting. Thank you.